Panago Pizza presents SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
God damn it, I'm pissed about Jason Spezza.
Are you?
I'm so pissed. How can you not start a 36-year-old guy who was supposed to be a fringe forward? I'm pissed.
So what's great is this show won't be up until at least after the game has started.
Yeah.
And my bet is Nick Shore scores the Leafs' first goal of the
I hope
season.
so. I hope he scores the Stanley Cup winning goal.
But we can't celebrate that goal because Jason Spezza's not on the ice.
It's not effing Jason Spezza.
We can't celebrate anything this season unless Jason Spezza is playing.
It's going to be Nick Shore wins the Stanley Cup, assisted by Nick Patan and Josh Levo somehow. That's
With
how
Frankie Corrado from the point.
100%. It's going to be, Frankie Corrado shot, three-way tip, Jonas Enroth in net. It's going to be sick.
Can't wait.
I don't know how it's going to affect the game tonight. It's a peculiar decision.
You know, it's weird. I don't think it will.
I mean,
Interestingly, no.
Aren't fourth liners the direct result of like how you win the Stanley Cup? It's your fourth line, right?
Well,
I mean, a lot of people would say yes.
If you ask noted hockey men, if you
on.
ask noted hockey men, yes.
Come on.
But come on. Like, it's true.
Guys, come on.
Come on.
Just come on.
it's a joke. And that's the part that you got to kind of keep in mind is that, like, people are freaking out because there's nothing else to freak out about. When someone has a really good life, if you live a life of privilege and your shirts are not pressed properly,
Adam doesn't peel any layers back.
and
he just acts to the onion.
Or you've got, like, let's say you didn't, the house cleaner didn't clean your rug properly.
Mm-hmm.
That is a problem to you. Like, I work out at a gym where some of my buddy who trains me, some of his clients literally have never worked a day in their life. Have never actually worked. They have family money, and then they married into more family money.
Like, what a weird view of the world.
And so he said their view of the world is warped because of that. He's like,
Right.
they can't properly, they could never understand what it's like. And so right now, our problems are Jason Spezza is not playing. That's because we haven't figured out what other things we could be focusing on. Good things, like Kasperi Kapanen's in the top 6. Yay, we like Kasperi Kapanen in the top 6.
Yep.
Andreas Janssen is finally playing with Matthews and Nylander.
Hey,
Hey, we like that. We like that.
Nylander is
Yeah.
finally playing with Matthews
That's right.
and Nylander.
The Leafs are somewhat deep at the right-hand side on D.
Hey!
No, but we got to focus on Jason Spezza versus Nick Shore, who, by the way, we would have killed to have Nick Shore on the team at center on the fourth line last season.
Yeah, if it was me making the decision, because Babcock has already come out and said Spezza is going to play on Friday against Columbus, first half of the back-to-back. If it was Spezza starting tonight and then Nick Shore on Friday, we'd all be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would have put Spezza in the home opener slot. But I'm starting to think about this from a historical context. So we, at the time we're recording this, don't know the captain. That's pretty interesting. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's John Tavares. So I'm picturing myself 10, 15 years from now. And my kid, hopefully I got a kid, at least one, comes up to me and they go, hey.
Young Caden. Steve goes, hey, Caden.
And I'll be like, what's up, future WHL player Caden? And because we moved or something. And they're going to be like, what was the day John Tavares got named captain like? And I'm going to say, well, we spent the whole first half of it complaining that Jason Spezza was scratched instead of Nick Shore. What do you remember? What do you remember the most about the year the Leafs won the Cup? Like, imagine. Well, I remember day one started with we got mad Jason Spezza wasn't in the lineup.
Man, last year, Nylander wasn't playing and wouldn't play till December 1st. Yeah.
The
Come on.
The fourth line could have a terrible game, be on the ice for a goal, maybe even two, and it would still be inexcusable for the Leafs to lose the Ottawa Senators. Just like it was last year. The Leafs should not be dropping games of the Ottawa Senators.
Nope.
Columbus Blue Jackets, too. No disrespect, but like neither team is expected to make much noise this season.
Nope.
So I find the decision strange, but I'm choosing not to get worked up about it because I'm sure there will be plenty of time to get worked up about other stuff.
Yeah.
But also, like, well, tie goes to the veteran. Oh, Mike, stop that. Okay, Jason Spezza doesn't play in the home opener. No, not that way.
Well, the Mike
all right,
Babcock.
careful what you wish for, you little shits. With your little Twitter blog.
Exactly. It's just sort of like, you know what? Just really, it's like if you really want to get down to brass tacks too, and as much as I think it's great that Jason Spezza is a Leaf, and I'm sort of excited about it, I know that the advanced analytics on Jason Spezza are not good, and I'm not talking about power play. I'm talking about 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been a drag on possession, and he's been a drag on a couple other things, and not good defensively. And we know what Mike Babcock wants from the fourth line.
He wants a penalty killer.
Yeah. So, and listen, Jason Spezza can win faceoffs. That's awesome. Jason Spezza can play power play. That's awesome. But it's not like the Leafs are lacking in power play weapons. So at a certain point, you can understand what Mike Babcock's doing. And
they're going to tinker a lot.
Yeah,
and they got lots
course.
of room to tinker.
He's going to play. He will play.
And you know what hasn't really been considered, if I'm not mistaken, because guys like Patan and Agostino, for example, have cleared waivers over the next 30 days, they can just be called up and sent down whenever without having to clear. We might see Nick Patan this upcoming week. We might see Kenny Agostino. Like, who knows?
Can I also say that I like having a coach who doesn't care about what people think? Imagine if it was the other way and Babcock reacted to the fans. That'd be ridiculous.
He's like legitimately colorblind to certain things. Like he doesn't understand that Jason Spezza playing in the home opener against Ottawa means something to anyone.
Yes.
Like it's not that he doesn't care. I just don't think he even sees it. But I definitely understand what you're saying.
Tell the 1,499 game story.
Oh, well,
This is Babcock to a
man, and I want to say it was heading into the playoffs, but I'm not totally sure. So the Red Wings went through this weird phase where they were like, we're going to ruin everyone's 1 year or one team in their career thing. And they got Daniel Alfredson for a year that was really weird. And they got Mike Modano. Mike Modano was at the end of his career, and he wasn't very good anymore. That's sort of what happens when you're ancient.
It was like the most recent few Bon Jovi albums. They sell because they're Bon Jovi, but they're not good.
I could see, and Mike Modano sort of had Mike Bon Jovi hair.
Right.
Like for a while.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
it Mike Bon Jovi?
No, it's John.
John Bon Jovi?
What?
I don't even know his name. Mike Bon Jovi.
Ooh. Is it Brad Halen? Is it Carr Halen?
Jeff Halen.
Jeff Halen. Yeah. No,
Mike
that's it.
Bon Jovi Robertson, the defender.
The Rolling Rocks?
Yeah, that's right. The rolling Pebbles.
Yeah, Pebbles. That's it.
Yeah. Anyway.
What is it? The Roaches? The Roaches say strawberry?
Cockroaches.
Ah,
Right.
cockroaches.
Say it. Be mature. Jeez. Anyway. So Mike Bon Jovi, Mike Modano, John Bon Modano. He's sitting on 1,499 career games. It's the last game of the season. So Mike Babcock scratches him. I would love to know, because, okay, when you hit 1,000 games, you get that silver stick.
Yep.
Right? Eric Brewer got one in his fourth game with the Leafs. Remember that in that godforsaken season?
I don't think that was the first time in my entire life that the Maple Leafs weren't selling out games.
They were selling out. It's
No,
just,
they were
it
not.
was-
No.
Oh, they weren't even
They
selling
weren't selling out.
Oh, really?
That
I
was
thought
the-
the ticket was spoken for, but they just didn't go.
Was not publicized, was not selling out.
I went to a Leafs-Oilers game when both teams were thoroughly bad. And just looking from the press box going, oh, there's
Yeah.
a few seats available.
Yeah.
Good thing one of those teams is good now.
Yeah.
Well, if you tweet
Both-
certain things, which
both teams are
perhaps
good.
we'll get to.
Both teams are good, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way, Thomas Jurko, first line winger, is not going to be able to play because he is injured. Thomas Jurko, who played all of last year in the AHL.
I feel
And it
horrible
was
for him
like-
because,
Yeah, that
what a
sucks.
golden ticket.
And it's not an easy injury. Like, it's
No,
something
it's
that'll keep
not.
him out for a couple of weeks,
It
right?
sucks.
Oh, really?
It really sucks.
Yeah.
There's a
I forget what
bunch
it
of
is.
really unfortunate stuff that got announced within the last 24
Yeah,
hours.
'cause-
Brandon Montour with the Sabres out for a month.
Why
When
do
is,
we-
when is that team going to catch a break? Eichel?
Yeah.
Come on.
What? Also, when are we going to shorten the preseason?
Well, the Leafs preseason will be shortened.
Yeah, they
significantly
have to
next
play.
year.
They're going to play the minimum next year. They're going to play the minimum 6 games because you have to play a minimum 6. The Leafs used to play 8 because guess what? It sold tickets, and it does.
I want to say they played 9 1 year.
But I don't think it matters to the Leafs anymore because They don't make the majority of their money off ticket sales anymore. Like the ticket, what you make in the ticket sales is nothing compared to what the sponsorships are. Like you think people spend big money on boxes, and they do. But you think around, like you look around the arena, what are there, 20, 25, 30?
Seats?
Box seats? Like the boxes. What are
I
there?
don't know.
So you got that. But for those things are, believe it or not, small potatoes compared to the partnerships that they have for advertising.
Right.
That's where they make their big money. Obviously, as you saw with the naming of the arena, and $800 million.
Jeez.
So it's
John Tavares.
So why?
Paid for.
So why are we paying? Why are we bothering to play an extra couple preseason games if it could injure a couple players? And let's be honest. I mean, with the exception of maybe Dmytro Timashov, we sort of knew what the roster was going to be. Even Sandin had sort of distinguished himself 3 games in, right? We knew. It was kind of like, oh, he probably will.
Yeah, well, and it's like obviously what this first week or two is going to be. Like, you can use the first part of the season to
Sort it out.
still figure it out. Like, there's no real rules to this.
And with the Leafs, it's not really, like, it's been figured out.
Yeah.
You're tinkering now.
They should also extend the regular season. The NBA
Extend?
did, just the length of days in the season. The NBA did this, I think they started it last year.
That is an
and it
unpopular opinion, Jesse.
No, but it helped with injuries.
Yeah.
Because there's more
did
time
it?
in between games. There's more time to recover.
Yeah, because
So-
the NBA compresses a lot, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
they started.
so they had used to just play a whole bunch of back-to-backs, and they got rid of a couple of them because they extended they delayed the preseason, or they moved it up. I forget, whatever they did. But yeah, if the NHL just gets rid of a couple preseason games, you start the season a week early, and there's a week extra of stretching out the season.
Cap it at 5.
Right?
Cap it at 5. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't.
Or like, I mean, was it Eric Engels tweeted something about when the preseason started? He was like, "Oh, here we go, like a full month of this," and he's right. Like, he's right.
Yeah.
Even the reporters
And the
don't
hockey
want
is
this.
trash.
It's bad hockey. So make it 4 games, cut it in half. It's 2 weeks now. You can figure it out.
And if teams don't feel like that's enough, okay, play against each other. Like, figure it out.
Sure,
Split squad,
play
yeah.
scrimmage.
Yeah, do something.
And that's all you need. I mean, it's not like the players are going into camp going, I got to get in shape now. They used to, but they're in shape, man.
Yeah.
If you're not in shape, you're Jake Dotchin.
Well,
You know what I
there
mean?
was that.
There's
Yeah.
that situation.
You just, you can't do it anymore.
You're in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are. So the training camp is really to figure out not who's in shape, but who's good enough. It used to be about lifting weights and okay, we can't have as much pasta as we used to. That's
You gotta stop drinking now.
God, yeah,
but
gotta
they
stop
wouldn't
having
stop
liquid
drinking and having
lunches.
cigarettes. You know.
Have the drink in your hand. Should I stop drinking this?
anyway.
Perhaps
so,
not.
So instead of focusing on the fourth line, which we've done so well recently,
they
we-
have 6 lines.
Can we revel in the fact that this is the most complete Toronto Maple Leafs team we've seen in our entire lives?
Win or lose tonight, absolutely.
If you look back to, everybody glamorizes the 93 season. And to an extent the 94 season too, where they got out to, I think, a 10-game win streak, but people don't realize they won 10 games in a row and then played 500 hockey the rest of the way.
Gord Stellick, I was talking to him and Chris Johnson last night at Sportsnet Grill, and Gord, you thought I was damaged. Gord knows every bad thing the Leafs have ever done. Because on top of being a super fan, he was also their GM.
Yeah.
So
And had to deal with Harold Ballard, poor guy.
yeah, and he
awesome.
brought up the Vancouver one because but it was the way he said it. He's like, well, I know a lot of you are still mad about LA, but how about Vancouver?
Yeah.
Gord,
But they were swept by Vancouver, right? It was
Were
at least
they?
with LA. It
I
was
don't
close.
know.
It was 4. Yeah. Well, Bray, McGillney, like it was crazy. Kirk McLean was on the top of his game. Trevor Linden was amazing. Like that was a great Vancouver team.
The terrifying here. I'll just real quickly, Gord, because apparently the Leafs were winning heading into the third period of Game 6. Which I was too young.
Was this LA
5.
or Vancouver?
This was LA.
Yeah.
And Gord remembers being like, "We're going to the final."
Oh.
Toronto, Montreal. How cool is that? And even for Game 7, he's like, Game 7, how cool is this?
Oh man.
Fuck.
Damn it, Gord.
That's what
Do we
that's
blame
what
Gord?
2013 felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if you look at the road that the Leafs could have faced in 2013,
Oh, stop!
after they got past the
Let's
Bruins,
not.
it was like a totally destroyed Penguins team.
They had a chance against the Rangers, and they played the Penguins really well. They would have got shit kicked in the Stanley Cup final.
Yes.
We don't
there's-
know that.
There's
Yeah, we
an
don't know
argument to be made that team as bad as they were, as flawed as they were, could have probably taken advantage of a situation that was in their favor.
Yeah.
Or how about this? They could have won at least one series.
Yeah,
They
how
were
about
winning by
that?
3 goals in the third.
The magic of that season was that it was 42 games, and that
48, yeah.
48, sorry, and that when the Leafs usually fall off is around like game 60-ish. So they could have just rode it to the point where they didn't even have to play the amount of games to where they would fall off.
And
And
the
they were
scary-
already speed wobbling.
That's right. That's the
Right,
scary
yeah.
part is they were already starting to fall off
But
the
they
tracks.
could have just, it was short enough that they could have just snuck it in there.
James Reimer
Oh,
is the
it sucks.
best first 42 game goalie the Leafs have ever had.
Yeah.
Did you see the April Reimer tweet?
Today,
Yesterday.
I have because I should say I haven't seen anything today.
So
We've
there's
been
this
in
famous
and out of
picture
meetings.
that wraps up the Leafs in a nutshell. From either the lockout shortened season or the 13-14 season.
Okay.
And it's like 4 Leafs in the corner against 3 Hurricanes. Jordan Stahl standing alone in front and Reimer pointing at him and going, and she's like, this is James pointing to his future path. Because Jordan Stahl just got named captain of the Hurricanes and Reimer is now on the Hurricanes.
Nice.
It made me laugh and also hurt my heart.
This is
Thanks for that, April.
So the reason we bring up all those other teams is this is the most complete Leafs team that probably has existed since the 60s. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah. On paper.
On
for sure.
paper, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a matter of now, can they execute?
Mm-hmm.
And, I think you do have to learn how to lose, right? You do have to learn how to lose and then hope that you're going to win. And I know that sounds super oversimplified and really stupid. My point in that is there are teams that learn how to lose and then remain losing. There are teams who learn how to lose properly and then win afterwards. And this is the season where we find out. Do they turn that corner? This is a big, big year.
Ottawa for a long while last year before they traded everyone and the wheels really fell off. Man, what a pesky ass team. Like just a joke on paper.
Played the Leafs
and obviously
great.
everything off the ice was terrible. Played the Leafs great, but like if you watched a lot of their games, they were watchable.
Yep.
Because they tried really hard. This is what I always dumped on with the Oilers, because believe it or not, I'd watch more than just the Leafs. What a defeated bunch. And Detroit tried really hard last year. And I think the Sens and the Red Wings are going into the season with this mercenary mentality. The Sens, I don't think there's any illusions about what's going on here. The Red Wings, it's pretty pronounced.
Yeah.
And there's already been talk, are the Red Wings worse than the Sens? They just might be, because they have like 3 or 4 guys on Grand Rapids who should be up with the big team, but they're strategically not. So how do the Leafs then mentally prepare to go into a game that they're just like, whatever?
Well, it's the start of the season. If you can't mentally prepare for that.
Yes, I 100% agree. I was thinking about last year. Their home opener against Montreal was terrible. They were lucky to win.
Yep, I was
in
there.
overtime. Yeah. The game against Ottawa was a joke.
Yes.
It was calamity.
And that was the first Saturday, their second game of the season.
Yeah. It was terrible. So they got to find a way to play a really motivated Sens team, play a really motivated Blue Jackets team. Like, even though I look at the Leafs on paper and I go, there's absolutely no excuse, it's a tight enough league where if you sleep for even 5 minutes, you're done.
Well, and that's a really good point. I mean, if you look at the Leafs against Ottawa last year, the season series, I believe, was
I think it was 3-1.
3-1. As in, Ottawa won 3 games against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is a joke. And, people were super pissed. I remember this.
And they weren't close.
Yeah, no, they weren't. These were blowouts. Like,
They were
it was so bad
terrible
that
games.
Ottawa played the Leafs goal song in the last time they played each other. They played Hall & Oates to troll us, which I thought A-class troll.
It's
That was
their
good.
Stanley Cup final.
Yes.
And, you got to know that when you play them.
So
No?
the frustrating part was, imagine the Leafs had won those 3 games, those first 3 games. Forget the 4th game. Imagine the season series is flipped, though. The Leafs have won the first 3 games.
Wouldn't they have home against the Bruins?
No, they would be a point behind the Bruins.
Oh.
And all the Leafs, then they're motivated because now Boston's staring you in the face. Then they're motivated. And it's keeping that in mind over the course of a marathon season. You have to beat the bad teams so that you'll stay engaged at the end of the season, which they have not done the last 2 years. Last 2 years, they fall into this mid-January funk, and it has it not been the last 2 January, Februarys, some of the most boring hockey we've ever seen. I think a couple Januaries ago in 2017, it was because Babcock clamped down and said, okay, enough of the 7-6 games. We're going to play defense now. And
Because the team, I have trouble faulting Babcock for that because they keep coming out of the gate playing that way.
He's right.
I want to see
he's
them.
right.
I would love to see the Leafs win 3-2, 3-1 tonight. You know what? 6-1 would be a lot more fun. 6-4, something like that. But they had. I said this on the radio. In Matthews and Marner and that whole kids year, third game of the season, they're up 4-0 on the Jets. They lost that game 5-4 in overtime. Line had a hat trick and the game winner. Embarrassing. The next year, home opener against the Rangers, second game of the season. The Leafs are up 5-1. Rangers tied it 5-5. Leafs won 8-5. And then last year there was that shit show against Chicago, the 7-6 game, the dueling Hulk Hogan celebrations. Morgan Riley wins it in overtime because neither team could stop a beach ball. If we could avoid a 7-6 game or not surrendering a 3 or 4 goal lead in the first 5 games, I think that'll be a victory in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Mike doesn't have to go, all right, Roman Polec's our top, right-handed D.
Yeah.
And all that,
So, we're staring at what could be a potentially great season in the face, and the best part about it is there's no sort of Damocles sort of hanging over it. There's no big, scary thing that's like, well, will Nylander sign? There's no, well, will Marner sign? Matthews is locked up. People are, already, they're talking about, like, Muzzin and Barry, and, like, to me, I don't think fans actually care about that. If they're drafted here, they're your guys, right?
Right.
Matthews, your guy. Nylander, your guy. Marner's your guy. Tavares skipped town on the Islanders, gave up the captaincy, and said, "I'm coming home." That's our guy too, right? That's how you feel. But like with Tyson Barry and Jake Muzzin, you're like,
and Mike
they're really
and Bon
great.
Jovi.
They're really great, but they've played a grand total of 30 games for the Leafs, and all of them have been Jake Muzzin. And so it's like, I don't really, I'm not too worried about that. What I'm worried about is winning and winning now.
The city's ready to love Jake Muzzin, though. Nothing against like some of the other new guys they have, but there's a lot of hockey fans in the city who have been dying for someone to, like, you see the way he just crunched David Pastrnak over and over again, threw someone into the bench during a preseason game. This city, if he gets off to a good start, they're ready to love him.
So on the captain situation, and I know Jesse's sorting some stuff out here, but I want to get Jesse's opinion on this too, because I think this is important. Okay. So the captaincy situation is one of two guys, and we think we know who it is, but let's just, for the argument's sake, let's say we're shocked today. Okay. It's John Tavares or it's Morgan Riley. And there are people that argue that the Leafs turnaround started with Brian Burke being able to draft Morgan Riley. Which is a real stretch in my books, but hey, I think we just got lucky in getting him. Right? People say that the Leafs' true turnaround started when Morgan Riley became a Leaf. Don't think so. It could have gone many different ways. Yeah, no, I think it started with Brendan Shanahan, and we'll go from there. Yeah. But Morgan Riley, been here he's only 25. He was
been
here for like
7 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Is a leader no matter what, whether he's got a C on his chest or not. Mm-hmm. So we know they're going to do a big build-up tonight. We know they're going to announce the captain. If it's Morgan Riley, are you okay with it?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what do you think, Morgan and Jesse? Are you cool with it?
Yeah, I think either way, the guys in the locker room are going to be okay with it.
Right.
Which I think is the important thing.
That's a good point, because it's the face of your franchise, but it's. What is Morgan Riley first and foremost?
Is Morgan Riley the face of the franchise?
Well, that's what they got to decide, right? So what is it first and foremost? Is it face of the franchise or the locker room leader?
I think it's the locker room leader.
Because if we're going locker room leader, I'm still not going to totally rule out it's Matthews. It might end up being him.
Do you imagine?
I don't think so.
I mean,
the timing is
it's shit.
Terrible. But maybe. Like I've
okay. So if I'm going to give so if you were to cap it, if we're going to put like a percentage on it, okay, all three of us. Mm-hmm. What percentage do you give Morgan Riley being the captain tonight? What percentage out of 100? Because remember, you got to split this 3 different ways, right? So
I'm on the 90% Tavares, 10% Riley, 0 Matthews.
Okay, Steve.
70% Tavares, 25% Riley, 5% Matthews.
So I'm going to say 5% Matthews as well. I'm going to say it's more like 40% Riley.
Wow, you think it's that high?
Yeah. And I think it's like
And math for Tavares.
55% Tavares.
Can I read you the part from 31 Thoughts about the captain?
Please.
I'm one of those people. This is Elliot Friedman. I'm one of those people who believe Toronto's captain is John Tavares, and I'm also one of those people who believes it was decided three or 4 days before the news of Matthews' disorderly conduct charge hit Twitter. I suspect Matthews knew about it too. Not everyone is going to buy that, which is fine, because there's nothing anyone can do about it. But I think a small group of coaches, executives had a vote. While there was support for Matthews, Tavares had more. There was a rumor, which has been denied, that the Maple Leafs plan was to transition. Tavares would be captain, then Matthews would take over, but he doesn't know how that would work.
Well,
that's what
pretty easy to
Friedman
do that.
says.
I mean, San Jose set a good precedent with that, with Marleau being captain, and then Thornton being captain, and then Burns being captain. And they were all on the same team together, right?
Was Burns?
Not Burns. Pavelski. What am I thinking?
Pavelski, and now it's Couture.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of.
But there are guys
and it'll probably be Burns next.
Guys that have been there forever who gave it, okay, my time's up, next guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing that, they played together.
So coaches and executives, according to Friedman, voted on it.
I mean, it's a good pick. It's a good thing that they had more than one candidate. Like, it's better than a few years ago when, hey, should it be Matt Stajan or Ian White? Oh. It's better than they acquired Phaneuf and he was just the default captain because he changed the music.
That was the big thing. Well, you should listen to the music he listens to. That's crazy. Young guy listening to those hippity hoppity beats.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable that was even a thing.
Please burn that era to ash.
We were so desperate at that point. We were willing to go, okay. Like, it's crazy.
Keith Ollie, the real big piece of the... Oh my God.
Yep.
But no, they've gone from having absolutely no candidate to like a default sort of candidate to legitimately like 3, at least 2.
Yep.
I think it's fine.
There's a reason why Islanders fans were so upset when Tavares left. Like, he was a heart and soul guy for them.
And in terms of,
and he's got great leadership, and he did so over there under some pretty tough circumstances.
And Matthews has been visiting sick kids without a letter on his chest. He didn't need the captaincy to do that.
Nope.
In terms of like the on ice, I'm happy to have Morgan Riley go over to the ref and yap at him. I'm happy to have John Tavares do that, nice and calm.
Talk about Kale.
Talk about Kale. Muzzin will probably be another.
Yeah.
And wait, have they already named? No, I guess they wouldn't be able to.
Now, what's Paul Marner's reaction if Mitch doesn't even get an A?
I don't know, man. Well, we already named 3 that are absolutely deserving of it.
Yeah. So you got Tavares, Matthews.
No, I would say Tavares, Riley, Muzzin.
You would give Muzzin an A over Matthews?
Oh, this is a much more interesting conversation to me than the captaincy. Who gets who are your 2 guys? 3 A's if Tavares is the captain.
In terms of yapping at the refs, right? Like, Muzzin's going to have more opportunity to do it. In terms of like infractions and stuff, he's going to be involved. I just feel like in a lot more of those physical confrontations than Matthews. Matthews is the guy who. He takes like 5 or 6 minors a year, and he draws a lot. So what's he going to do? Like complain a bunch more? I think part of the reason he draws so many, besides his skill, is he doesn't do that much talking.
He doesn't yap to the ref.
So like, I don't think Marner needs one. I don't think Matthew needs one.
I think you got to make them both assistant captains.
It's a tough look if Matthews
afford.
has nothing, right?
I don't know.
Who are your 3 guys?
Riley, Matthews, Marner. The reason I say, like, listen, I don't know. It's tough to say because it's.
So now you got Marner wearing one and not Matthews.
I said Riley, Matthews, Marner.
Oh, Riley, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my head.
And the reason I say that is that I think you've got to at some point turn the like, because I would include Tavares and Riley in the older leadership, and then Matthews and Marner in the younger leadership. Yeah, right. Stupid.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do, and I would say Matthews and Marner are the next guys to sort of take the mantle, and. If you have 2 stars like they are, and yes, you can debate me on how much of a star Mitch Marner is. Sorry, guys, he did get 94 points last year. That's pretty good in my books.
I don't think anyone's ever denied that.
Oh, I think there are people denying it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've seen them, and let's not overdo it. The point I'm trying to make here is you've got to have a young leadership group and an older leadership group, and I think that it's imperative that those two guys especially are pointed out as, we expect stuff from you. Like, if you don't give them some ownership of this process, that they are truly the reason it's all happened. The reason Tavares is here, the reason Morgan Riley got 70 points last year, I would say a good chunk of that is owed to, not because they're not talented on their own. Tavares would have never come, and Riley would have been stuck playing with Roman Polaks for the rest of his life had they not brought in these young superstars. And I think you got to turn some of the leadership and ownership of this process over to them, because it's because of them that they're in this position. It's because of Matthews and Marner and Nylander and Johnson and Cap. You go down the list, but it's because of those 2-3 guys that this has happened. And I think if you don't give them ownership of this, they're going to go, okay, well, what am I fighting for here then?
But isn't this great that we have like at least 6 legitimate candidates for all this?
I also don't give an assistant captain to somebody who could be gone in 82 games either.
Well, because I was going to say, like, if we're going to go like leadership and tenure, why not Tyson Barrie? Like, there's a potential one.
He's new. He's too new. I think
too new.
Matthews and Marner have already played 200 games for the Leafs. Like, I think they're leaders now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 82. I mean, Matthews maybe not because he's injured, but
don't those guys still feel new?
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw Nylander get picked over 5 years ago. He still feels new.
Wow.
You know, like, I'm just not used to them being any good.
Matthews
And I've had 3 years to get used to it.
Matthews
Right.
has played 212 games for the Leafs.
With all his injuries and everything?
Yeah. I'm looking at Mitch here. Hang on. I'm just trying to look it up.
Wow.
241 Mitch has played.
Where has the time gone?
That's my point, right? Like, these guys are now, they're now vets.
They passed
they're
the
veterans.
threshold of they hit on the picks.
Yeah.
Guys, they were good picks.
Yeah.
They passed 200 games.
Yeah, these guys are vets now.
Spezza, could we?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I'm sure somebody will be upset about it, but yeah.
well.
Anyway, so it's just interesting stuff. Now, we saw in the last little bit here the RFA conversation happen, and it's very funny because
which RFA conversation?
well, the RFA, not with the Leafs, sorry, not RFA, waiver wire conversation. Happen, and there's a great argument to be made that the majority of the wingers available on waivers were better than what the Oilers have under contract. So if you are Ken Holland, you could upgrade your team immediately by dropping most of your wingers. And if you want to debate me on it, there are numbers that support that. Not just goals and assist and points, but also, the advanced stats as well. Mm-hmm. Like how they would rather have Riley Sheehan over, say, like a Nick Petan. You could put Nick Petan on the wing.
Or even
Sven Berchi's another guy that came up.
Like, okay, James Neal is going to score more than 7 goals. Okay. Thomas Yurchel might be a decent offensive producer because he has been at the AHL level. Okay. Like, there has to be better options. Daniel Sprong, Nick Petan, Kenny Agostino, Josh Hosang.
I don't know about Josh Hosang. I'm not. There are a lot of models love that guy. But you can't. At the same time, it's like apparently one of the biggest problems about Josh Hosang is that when he's given opportunities to shoot, he doesn't.
Oh well, yeah. If you're with McDavid,
he's not a volume
you need
shooter.
to shoot.
Yeah,
like James Neal's got. He's going to get more than 7 goals. He's got the cushiest job in the sport.
Oh my God, yeah. No, and listen, I think Josh Hosang's an NHL player. I'm just not sure he's the right fit alongside McDavid.
How about?
But why not? Why the fuck not?
Nuge?
Yeah, exactly. You could have upgraded, and they didn't. And that makes me wonder something. We've been talking about the McDavid clock, and tell me if I'm crazy on this one, because I know Oilers fans already think I'm crazy, and that's a complete Toronto construct that a superstar in Edmonton might want to get traded. Wow, have we forgotten Wayne Gretzky already? But whatever. A superstar in Edmonton without good players around him. And I don't care what city it is. He could be a superstar in Toronto, he could be a superstar in Miami, he could be wherever it is. If they do not have people around them that are going to help them win and even make the playoffs, even have a shred of a chance. If the Oilers were in the first round and they got knocked out every year, we're not having this conversation. But because they're not even fucking close,
no,
we're having this conversation.
Well, why?
So
how dare you?
Well, right, exactly. And how dare I say so? So here's my theory. I think Ken Holland thinks he's got more time. I think Ken Holland, much like Detroit's doing, much like Ottawa's doing, is not trying to win this year.
So there's an argument that, and Elliot was making this in 31 Thoughts, there's an argument that if you're going to tank, this is the year. Not every year is the year, but this is the year. Alexis Lafreniere is going to be disgusting by the looks of it. The top 15 or so of this draft, Merrick won't shut up.
Yep.
Jeff Merrick loves this draft. So that's why, I mean, Ottawa, I think, is business as usual. They're rebuilding. Detroit is actively tanking by the looks of it. The Oilers, but you're wasting another year.
And if you are going to tank, he's already injured. Pull him.
Well, if he's good to play, he's good to play.
Actually,
Right?
I got a really great message about a PCL injury, which is what he has.
I don't even know what
I'm going to find
is.
it. I'm going to find it because it's really, really
Well,
good.
okay, before you get there then, or while you're pulling that up, so I sent a tweet where I was talking about the McDavid's wingers had 7 goals last year because Thomas Yurcho didn't play a single NHL game last year, which is wild. It's wild that he was even penciled in next to McDavid at all.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's a top line winger.
I don't give a shit what he looked like in the preseason. I don't care. You shouldn't have even tried him with him in the preseason. Well, I guess you have to. But the amount of Oilers fans, and I know most of them don't listen to this show. That's fine. You're cool. If you listen to this, if you've been listening to this show for a while, you understand where what I'm saying is coming from. The amount of Oilers fans who just Toronto fuck you because I had anything to say about their team was mind-blowing. The amount of Oilers fans who said, well, what did you expect Ken Holland to do? Look what Pete Chiarelli's done to this team. We can't all have, what was it, like $13 million on LTIR like the Leafs do.
Well, they can. The Oilers can.
What a loser excuse. A loser excuse. What did you expect them to do? Oh, I don't know. Not have a guy who didn't play a single friggin' NHL game next to Conor McDavid. Bare minimum. How is, Adam, what color are oranges?
They're orange?
How are McDavid's wingers? Unacceptable. Like, for stating a fact, just because of where I grew up, who pissed in your cereal? I don't get it. I don't get it. And let me tell you, I hope you get everything that you ask for. I hope everyone leaves you alone and keep slopping from the trough. Because you seem to love it. Whatever they put in that shit, you seem to love it.
Edmonton, by the way, can afford that. Edmonton is one of the richer teams in the NHL.
No.
And the answer to the Ken Holland question, what is he supposed to do?
His job!
Something.
It's Ken Holland, Cup winner Ken Holland, who has one of 31 available GM jobs on planet Earth.
Yep.
There are 31 GM jobs in the National Hockey League. He's got one. I know he's GMing against 30 others. Nothing?
Can I read something from 31 Thoughts that might give an answer?
That'd be great.
Elliot wrote, Ken Holland seems pretty calm in Edmonton. Some of that is the security of a 5-year contract. Some of that is he's 63 and has seen everything. But it's also that even though fans and organization crave sustained success, he sees this as a slower process. Holland told ownership this was not going to be a quick fix, and he's determined to stick to that.
So they're tanking.
They're going to tank.
So they're tanking.
They are tanking. McDavid plays 60 games this year.
I think you're right. And maybe that's the right move. I think it was Ryan Fancy tweeted. He's like, if McDavid gets injured, the Oilers win, or the Oilers get 45 points. And I go, no, because that would involve them winning 20 games. Like,
So check this out.
it's do you hear, like, why do you care? Why do I care? Because you have the best player in the world. I want to watch him in games that don't suck. Like, I don't understand. I keep slopping from the trough. Yum, 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 yum.
So your PCL
Stupid.
is your posterior cruciate ligament in your knee, and only about 10% of cruciate ligament injuries involve this. This is what McDavid had. It's an awkward spot to get hurt. This is according to Colton Phillips, by the way, on Twitter. In fact, it's more common in motor vehicle accidents when people's knees get smashed through the dashboard. But if you remember the play, it's almost exactly what happened to McDavid. He skates as fast as a car can drive, which is true, and he hit his knee against the post, tearing the ligament with he basically hyperflexed his, hyperextended his leg in the knee, and it drove the tibia, the larger bone in your lower leg, back into the PCL. In terms of why it may have been a rough summer for him, 60% of those knee injuries include some other structures in the knee, usually medial or lateral ones. Knee injuries typically require you to rest, ice, compress, and elevate your leg for a while, then go on crutches, then wear a brace. I don't know what grade his tear was, but without surgery, grade 2 tear takes about 6 weeks to recover, let alone rehab to his standards. If the three of you can handle a bit of a gross visual, get ready for this.
Oh, okay. There's your warning, folks. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
The test for a PCL tear.
Whose Twitter account is this from?
This is from at CPHIBBS13, Colton Phibbs. C Phibbs.
What's their, like, did they say what their expertise is?
He is he just knows the injuries here. So
Okay.
I'm just going off of this. So,
Sure.
right.
So we're going into this knowing that we're reading.
Yeah, I'm reading the Twitter thing.
Yeah, okay. But it might be right.
Might be.
Might be wrong.
Might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Don't think so. So when you look at the PCL injury, it's called a...
You don't have pictures.
No, I don't.
Okay, thank God.
The tear, they do something called a SAG test.
Sorry, and how far back on his account is this? I'm just trying to bring it up on the
What do you mean?
here.
Oh, this is no. Sorry, he DM'd me this.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was looking for the tweet so I
Yeah.
could throw it up on this nifty thing here, but
Yeah.
they can't. Okay.
Keep
going.
He basically he's going to school right now.
Okay.
So he said I remember you guys saying on the podcast it'd be really interesting if someone broke down sports injuries, and I gave it a bit of an overview. And when you were discussing McDavid's knee injury on the show, it reminded me of a lesson I had in class last year. Turns out I have a few pieces of information on PCLs, which is why he sent it to me.
Great.
Okay. So that apparently, and I looked this up, and this is true. One test is called the SAG test for your PCL.
Sounds awful.
That is where the patient is seated, with their feet on the floor, and with a little pressure on the thigh, the knee goes just above the thigh. So the thigh starts to sag below the knee a little bit, and that's how you know you've got a PCL tear. So they probably had to do that with Conor McDavid. Before his rehab, his thigh probably could go below his knee.
Oh, my dear God.
Isn't that fucked? Anyway.
It's dirty.
Dirty.
Wow, man. Wow.
Crazy.
That's gross.
Yep.
That's really shitty.
Crazy stuff. I love those injury overviews. They're so
wild.
interesting.
It's wild what athletes do to their body, man.
Yeah.
You ever just, like, think about that?
Oh, it's not good for
Holy
you.
shit.
It's not good for you.
No, it's terrible.
You know what's interesting? People are going to say, when we talk about Ken Holland, what happened in Edmonton this summer? You got a new coach.
Yep.
And I feel bad for Dave Tippett because he seems to
It's Coach Conor
absorb
McDavid.
teams in their worst states. Like the LA Kings from 99 to 2002. Then you look at it, and then he's the Dallas Stars from 02 to 09. They were okay, but there were some rough years in there.
Yeah.
Then Arizona, which did have the 2013 conference finals. That he was the coach of that. But he has managed through some really rough situations. And like 2 games in to did you see his comments like 2 games into the preseason?
No.
He's like, wow, he said, I didn't realize it, but this turned out to be a tryout for a lot of players on this team because they got slammed. And he was like, a bunch of these players are just not making it.
Yikes.
It's wild, man. It's I don't know how you can.
I'm on Oilers fans' side.
Well, you're from Toronto, so you can't be.
I know. I guess that's it.
Um,
I'm an elitist.
It is very, very interesting to see what's happened. So it'll be very interesting to watch. Darcy Kemper
Yes.
signed a 2-year extension, by the way, this year, $9 million, because Antti Ranta, I believe, is injured again.
Yes, and my one of my favorite fantasy sleepers, as you found out yesterday,
Darcy Kemper.
he had an unbelievable year last year. 925 save percentage, played in 50 games.
And I picked
55 games.
I had Rene earlier,
Yeah.
but I'm banking on this
Because
being
Grubauer was taken.
Yes,
I
Grubauer's
think
another one.
Grubauer is going to have a really good season.
See, I took Pekka Rinne because he's an established guy, but then Kemper was still around, so I thought, well, Steve does make a good point. And
You guys play in a fake fantasy league.
No, I help him play in a
Yeah.
fake fantasy league because I don't like the maintenance of it all.
So
I just get bored.
our league includes Corsi, but it's on ice Corsi. So it's not. So if
It's
the
the
three
most
of us,
disgusting thing I've ever
if
heard.
the three of us
Jesse.
are on ice together and I get 5 shots, that Corsi counts to you guys, but it's not personal, right?
It's the most disgusting thing.
Oh,
I've
do you
ever heard.
guys do you play head to head or table?
It's head to head. So we're doing head to head matchups. But
Is there money on the line?
I don't believe
There was no buy-in.
I think there is a buy-in, but I don't know if I paid it yet.
There's a
I've
pride-
forgotten. Sorry,
pride
Josh.
in.
But anyway,
Okay.
I joined this league because every person in this league is like a million times way smart. Not that this is not abnormal for me, but most people are way smarter. But these people are like a million times more qualified and smarter. And I'm like, I might learn something. And it's that we went with like the fact that Corsi gets you Corsi gets you points, and that the Corsi is if you've got one good player on your line like McDavid, you could pick a Yurko. And you get all the McDavid Corsi, basically, right?
Another, I mean, everyone's
You
fantasy
guys
draft is
are,
probably
you guys
done,
are playing
but
fantasy completely wrong, first of all. But go ahead.
I'm loving it. I'm excited.
What was amazing?
I'm so
'cause-
excited.
So I helped Mrs. Dangle with hers, and you with yours.
Yeah.
Someone who's probably gonna have a pretty good season possession-wise, probably gonna put up a bunch of points, plays with really good players, but you usually look at the cluster of people who
Who are
are
at the
coming
top.
up, and you look at max like 20 guys in that range, and you go, okay, well I'm smarter than the algorithm or whatever, so I'm gonna pick the guy 7 people down.
You do a snake draft?
Oh, that's
We
what
did a snake draft.
There's your first problem. Auction draft only.
Oh.
You guys got to step up your fantasy
Yeah,
game.
okay, all right. Maybe
Auction
next
draft
year.
next year.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
Well, so you know who's like super duper far down the list because they had bad seasons last year is guys who got injured. So guys who are available way later than they ought to be. Torrey Krug was one who you picked up. William Nylander is like
155th or something.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like
So I was like, watch
so
this.
far down.
And I got to pick because I was the 12th overall pick out of 12 teams. So I got to pick first and like I would pick two twice in a row because it's last and first and last. And I was able to pick up Krug and Nylander back to back. It was kind of like I was like, watch this, and then you see all the see like Ian Tulloch and all of them are like, whoa, yeah, all the offensive zone entries and stuff like that. And then at the end of it, because Ian Tulloch's team name is Dermot's Edges.
Okay.
I'm Team Potato, by the way, because I have the intelligence of a potato compared to these people. I picked up Travis Dermott.
Just to be a dick.
And yeah, just to be a dick. And they laughed, but somebody on Twitter chirped me. They're like, yeah, so you got a third pairing defenseman who's injured. What's that? I'm like, no, it's the principle.
No, it's
It's the principle.
for the lulz.
And also, Rachel Dory, big Damon Severson person, was able to pick him up. And apparently we're supposed to work out a trade, but she better offer big money. That's all I'm saying. Better be big, Rachel. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and you, we wanted Nico Hischier really badly.
Yeah.
But time ran out, and it auto-drafted Bo Horvat, and we looked and we're like, oh, okay, no, yeah, that's
That's okay.
good,
yeah,
good.
that's great. I ended up with Nazem Kadri in a late round pick too. And people,
what?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was after everything else. I got Kadri, so I was like, great, this is awesome.
bastard.
And
Wow.
we did. This is so in depth, Jesse, that we have a prospects draft too, and I wasn't able to be there for that.
Okay.
I have not great prospects, but I did end up with Capo Caco.
What is your prospects draft?
Well, that means like players that could make it, and you can trade them and stuff. And I think we do get. Based on their junior numbers, you get some points as well.
I hate your fantasy league
Oh, I'm
so
loving
much.
it.
Oh,
That's so
so do I.
exciting.
I was just
This
ripping
is
them the
the
whole
dumbest
time.
thing I've ever heard. Play real fantasy.
I love it. Steve was upset. Steve was,
this
I
is
love these guys.
so
I'm so
annoying.
excited, man. I gotta update you guys.
I've
them
never,
Team
I've
Potatoes
never
gonna
heard
take
of
it all away.
anything worse.
I was just like, you guys have Corsi? Yeah, on ice Corsi. Oh, you make me sick.
What? Do you also have plus minus?
Oh, no.
No, there'll be no plus minus.
Okay.
How dare you?
All right,
No,
good.
no, don't insult them. Come on. But I'm really pumped. I think this is gonna be wicked. So I'm gonna make sure you guys know about my team. I did get Thomas Chabot. I got Elias Pettersson.
Yeah.
I got some really good players. Good players.
We now have my
Good
least favorite segment every week.
How's Team
How
Potato
Adam's
doing?
doing in the Smart Guy
funky
League.
clown show fantasy league.
Oh, I want Adam to beat both Staff and Graf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you beat
And
them.
like all these people who are like, yeah, they do this for a living. Like, I just want you to be like, Team
Especially
Potato.
staff. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
especially staff.
Screw them.
Yeah.
Screw her.
Go potato. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, and this is strange, but I never thought we'd be talking about this guy again. But Mark Borowiecki.
Oh yeah.
So
This is what I'm. Yeah. Go ahead.
all right, now this is Leafs related, but I tag this under Senators because this is a Senators thing. And you know when when you read a comment from somebody
No.
and you're like, oh, you're just trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
I
This
think
is what Enrique Iglesias version, or what they did for the Spider-Man movie way back when with what's her futz from Evanescence and guy who sounds like he's from Creed. Remember?
which one was
There's
that?
a lot of references.
Yeah,
in
man,
that.
that's deep. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
There was a hero song. Like
Oh, and they say that a hero. Isn't that?
can save.
Nick-
Yeah.
Wasn't Nickelback on that too?
I don't know.
Anyway,
They all sound the same. Except
when
for
someone's
Evanescence.
trying to be a hero, a Cape Baiter.
Yes. Was Mark Borowiecki, whatever the futz, was he cape baiting?
Let's see. When referencing Scott Sabourin, by the way, who had 7 AHL points.
Touch it.
What happened?
What did I touch?
The quotes on the screen.
Oh,
You could touch it.
when referencing Scott Sabourin, who had 7 AHL points last year, slew-footed Auston Matthews
8.
in the preseason. Sorry. And Matthews went, "Who are you again?"
Yeah.
Borowiecki said, "I thought it was a little disrespectful, to be honest." Duh, that was sort of the point. We're not all
Yes.
blessed with Auston Matthews' talent, unfortunately. I'm not sure Austin appreciate what it's like being a fighter down there. It's a role he's never had to play.
Whoa.
Now, I know
Yeah.
that's not the whole quote, but that's the joy of boiling it down, because that's most of it.
How much of that is okay? That's my teammate, and I just got to go out and say the correct thing.
That's it.
Right.
Well, and it's what I was saying. Like, okay, you don't got to win every game. You got to beat the Leafs, right? Or not every game is the Stanley Cup final. But
Sorry. Let
we got to beat the Leafs.
Let me say this. We're not all blessed with Auston Matthews' talent, unfortunately, but I truly wish I was. Some of us had to do it the hard way.
Wow. Yeah. Some of us, when the owner's like, I want you to be part of a shitty interview with me.
Have to suck it up and go, "You're right."
Okay, what are we going to do here? Like, it's devoid of context. Like, the reason Matthews did it is Sabourin was being a shit, like he's supposed to. Mm-hmm. Sabourin, he got his job because he did his job.
Yep.
Dude, in the preseason, he got Auston Matthews' attention and punched Max Domi. For a guy who...
And beat Max Domi in a fight,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right?
once when Domi hit the ice, he still had a glove on. So
Oh,
I'm going
okay,
to grade
all
on a
right.
curve
Fair
there.
enough,
But,
okay.
far be it from a Leafs fan to defend Max Domi. But did you know he has a book? For a guy who put up like less than 4th line AHL production last year, to accomplish that in a preseason game, even if he had dirty tactics to do it, I mean, good on him. And the fact he's going to make more money than he ever has in his entire life. Although you left out a quote there,
What?
the $70,000 one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
do you
mean,
want me
this
to-
guy made, he's been making $70,000, and a lot of people on
Rolling
Twitter were
around
like,
on a team.
$70,000 American to play hockey. Like, yeah, I understand.
Sorry, I should have included that, but
The
yeah.
quotes, it's really tough when you know you're going to fight double digits every year and ride the bus around and get paid $70,000.
So you get $70,000 to ride a bus and punch face. There's a lot of people I know who would take that.
Should we be disappointed that Sabourin's in the league?
No.
That the NHL hasn't
What?
phased out this type of player by now? It's 2019.
I mean, the NHL might phase him out by Christmas. Who knows?
I think he
Who
will
knows?
phase himself out.
Who knows? I mean,
We needn't
former
worry.
Oshawa general, so he's a good guy, obviously.
But
know that
the point is not Scott
automatically.
Sabourin.
No,
The
what?
point is
That's
this
true.
dumb quote.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, of
it's-
course, listen, slew-footing a superstar in preseason is disrespectful too.
Of
man.
course, but we're seeing the Senators' strategy at play. They're world beaters, and they got to
Right.
tell themselves that they're world beaters. And if you're Jeff Blashill or anyone in the Detroit locker room, that's your job too. If you're, I don't know, maybe the Kings, if you're not expected to do well this year, that's got to be your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always talk about tanking teams, and no, I don't expect the players to tank, but the organization's got to make a decision to sort of strip it of talent and get different assets and whatever. But the players in the room, like, I don't know, good on Boro for doing that, and Sabourin for doing his job. Not necessarily the slew foot.
I kind of liked Adam's angle of it's a dumb quote.
Oh, it's a dumb quote.
It's the dumbest.
It's a dumb quote. But, like, I get what he's doing.
Sure. It's also kind of dumb.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Pretty dumb.
Well, they have to tell themselves they're world beaters, but they won't beat anyone. Like, let's just be Craig Anderson. They live or die by Craig Anderson.
They'll play fun games.
What does that
Listen,
mean? They're going to lose 7-4?
They skate real fast. They try real hard. They score goals sometimes, although when they traded Mark Stone, that went away. So I'm interested to see how that goes this year.
I'm excited to see how Mark Stone does in Vegas, by the way.
He's going to kill it.
Oh.
Vegas is going to do really, really well, I think.
Um,
Because they did so well last year after starting garbage.
So, is this a dick move?
Yes.
The Vancouver Canucks are going to name a captain this season. It says, we're going to name a captain this season. It's a special moment. This is from Travis Green, their head coach.
It's their 50th season.
Yeah, something our fans should be able to witness firsthand. We'll make the announcement Wednesday at our home opener. So tonight we'll also know about the Vancouver Canucks captains. They included a picture of several Canucks captains. Naslund, Linden, Sedin. Not Roberto Luongo. So Roberto Luongo retweeted it and photoshopped himself into it.
It's pretty funny.
It's really funny. But isn't that kind of shitty as well?
No. Wasn't he captain for like less than half a season?
2 years.
No, he wasn't.
08 to 2010.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's sort of shitty.
Yeah, but wait, what years?
2008 to 2010.
Wow.
Dude, they were a great team.
They were a great team, but they got better once he was not captain anymore.
Was it just an error by somebody,
Well, they also
like
didn't
an
include
intern?
Mark Messier.
Oh.
No.
But
That's smart.
could be an error.
Is there?
I can't imagine it's here's the thing. I'm going to go through Canucks captains in history. They don't exactly have a plethora of great names to pick from. The first one was Orlin Kurtenbach from 70 to 74.
The curtain blog.
Andre Bourdrais from 75 to 76. Chris Odolfsson, 76 to 77. Don Lever, 77 to 79. Kevin McCarthy, 79 to 82.
A lot of turnover.
Stan Smeal, 82 to 90.
Yeah.
Then it was Dan Quinn, Doug Lidster, and Trevor Linden in 1990 and 1991. They were tri-captains. And then Linden from 91 to 97. Messier from 97 to 2000. Naslund, 2000 to 08.
Messier was 3 years, huh?
Roberto Luongo, yeah, he was. Roberto Luongo, 2008 to 2010. And Henrik Sedin for 8 years after that.
I'd say they're on a good little run.
They're on a good
since
little
Messier.
run now. But you can't include Roberto
Yeah,
Luongo?
why did they do that?
I guess they could have. I don't know. I don't think it's that huge of a deal. He was captain for 2 years. Most people don't seem to view it as that
He's
great
the
of an
best
idea.
goalie in franchise history.
Could have included him. But maybe you only wanted 5, so you could have a guy in the middle. I don't know.
What? Why are you making
I can't
excuses?
believe you're
This is
defending
so
this.
weird.
I'm not defending it. I just don't care. I don't think it's that big of a deal. He was captain for 2 years. 2 years.
No, but they did a thing about the captains of the team.
Yeah.
And they just
So who are
arbitrarily
the
left him
captains?
out.
Who are the captains in the photo?
It's, well, a couple of them I don't recognize, to be honest with you, because I
So
don't know.
there's a particularly
There's
older
Sedin
gentleman
here.
who I assume is like the first.
Yeah.
Okay, so who we got?
You
Yeah,
got-
I'm not gonna lie. I don't notice the. I don't
Sid-
recognize the two guys. on the left.
Naslund, Sedin, Linden are the only ones I recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those guys were captains for a long time through a lot of
Yeah,
success.
but the guy with the V jersey on probably wasn't, unless that's the guy from the 80s.
Yeah, but then you're
Unless
going
that's
with
Stan
nostalgia. Then you're going with nostalgia, though. I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting worked up about this, and I get worked up about a lot.
You don't include Roberto. Come
is
on,
happening,
that's shitty.
Steve?
I don't
You
care.
could.
I don't care what anyone says. That's,
You could.
That's total shit.
Leaving
That's
out
shit.
Mark Messier is funny.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
want to though. That was crappy.
See, that's an interesting one. So,
that was a
Messier's
bad.
relationship with the Vancouver Canucks is always fascinating to me, because how many teams have a guy who was captain for multiple years, who the fan base seems to universally hate? Like, is there a Leaf captain who
It
like
was
you
the
just
way
can't
he did
use
it.
in anything?
He was the that you can't Dion Phaneuf.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah.
So Mark Messier is their Dion Phaneuf.
Yeah, but in a worse way because Trevor Linden was beloved, and they signed Messier, and it was sort of like, oh no, now I'm going to be captain, and he's leaving. That's how it went. Like if you go back and read articles from the time and you read about the situation, Messier pushed Linden out, and the organization was like, well, we need Messier, not Linden.
See, I guess I just don't know the context.
They turned on their guy.
Interesting.
And was Messier the better player? Probably. But Linden was Vancouver's guy.
Probably not by then.
Maybe not by then. Maybe not by then.
remember. Do you remember? Was it Nagano?
Yeah, he didn't go to Nagano.
He wasn't in Nagano, and I remember waking up and watching the highlights, and when they announced the team, he was like crying on the bench. You know who made that team? Rob Zaminer.
Wow.
Remember Rob Zaminer?
The Examiner.
He
wasn't, but it should have
my
been.
God.
Yeah, Rob Zaminer did. There was a few weird ones on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray Bork took a penalty shot.
They lost.
Go figure. Lots more around the league, but again, it's hard to get too deep because again,
There's games tonight.
Yeah, there's
and
games
that's going to
tonight.
happen throughout the season.
There is. I do want to point out that EA Sports NHL did their simulation of the playoffs. And there's a notable thing. Before we get to the press conference, there's a notable thing, which is Boston wins the Cup.
Yep.
And in the first round, beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-3. So,
I have a conspiracy theory.
do you think they did that on purpose?
Yeah, they photoshopped that.
Yeah?
100%.
I hope they did. Because that's the right move.
What, are they going to show you the record of the simulation?
No.
It's way funnier. It's way funnier. God damn it. Can you imagine?
Oh.
I don't even want to think about it.
Oh.
I might have to take a break from LFRs. Like, I don't know. Like,
You said that. You did say that last year. It was heartbreaking. Can you imagine
dude,
this happens
3 years
again?
in a row?
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
By the way, I can't believe this is the 7th full season of the podcast coming up.
I know.
And the 13th of LFR. What the... How old am I?
Old.
I'm like 47, right?
Yeah. Old as
56?
shit, man.
Jeez.
Should we do the press conference?
67? 69.
Hi.
The Steve Dangle
Jesse?
Press Conference.
We should do the press conference.
All right.
Someone had this great idea that for trivia, we should do Stanley Cup champions. I forget who tweeted it to me, but I thought it was a great idea.
I like this.
We're going to go back until... What year were you guys were born the same year? What year were you born?
88.
88. We're going to go from the year you were born until 2019. Most correct answers wins.
Okay.
Okay.
All right?
Let's try this.
All right. Do you guys have a pen and paper?
Oh, boy.
That will be required for this
No.
contest because I don't like cheaters.
I have a Post-it note. Do you have a pen?
Get a pen.
I have Post-it notes.
Give me a
Adam, yeah. You got 2 pens there, Adam?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hold on. I got my
Steve.
Virgin Radio pen here.
I'll
There
give
you
you 2 because I'm a great guy.
Whoa.
There you go.
Noted great guy, Steve.
Ooh,
Noted
great
great
guy,
guy.
Steve.
Okay.
Okay.
1988. Who won the Stanley Cup?
Who won?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
boy.
need the name of the team.
Man, I'm not good. I'm not good with the 80s. Okay.
They beat the Boston Bruins. Reveal your answers.
Oilers.
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 Gretzky's
Both
last cup.
correct.
With the Oilers.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Gretzky's last
All
cup.
right.
period.
1-1. 89.
Think I know this, but I'm not totally confident.
Reveal. Steve Flames. Adam Flames. 2-2.
Okay.
90. Steve?
Oilers.
Oilers. Adam? Oilers. 3-3.
Okay. Okay.
91. Who you got? Steve got it correct. Adam, both Penguins. 4-4.
We've been alive too long.
92.
This game's gonna-
Pens. Adam. Pens. 4-4. All right, now it's 5-5. 93. Easy. Adam, who you got for 93?
Canadians.
Yeah. 94. Steve's written down the correct answer. Adam.
Rangers.
Rangers.
I'm trying to write as fast.
Yeah.
95. You just keep going. 90. We know. You know where the next question's gonna be. 95. Adam's got. Yeah, correct. Steve. New Jersey Devils.
Yep.
96. Who you got?
Avs.
Avs. 96. 97. Steve's got it. Adam, what you
Wings.
got? Wings. Correct. 98.
I just put ×2.
Nice. Wings.
yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
99. Correct. What you got?
Stars.
Correct.
Which
Dallas Stars.
it shouldn't have been.
Oof, nope.
It actually,
We're sorry, Buffalo Sabres.
it gets foggier for
Not-
me as the
Not that,
years go on.
not that it shouldn't have been the Stars. It shouldn't have happened the way it happened.
Right.
Yeah, it could have still been the Stars.
Probably would have been.
Yeah.
But
That was. Now we're at the 2000,
I'm not sure. I think I might get this one wrong.
the millennial year. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
it's one
9,
between
10,
two. 1 and
11,
2. There's 2
12.
teams that I'm thinking.
12.
Oh, I know who it is.
I'm honestly not sure.
I know who it is.
Shoot.
12. Who won the Stanley Cup in the year 2000?
My pen died.
The year that the world was supposed to come to an end, and it didn't.
My pen died.
Oh,
Uh,
I have another pen.
do
Do you have another pen?
Okay.
All right.
Is it?
I don't know if it's any
And
good,
also
but
turn
we'll
over your sticky note so I can see it because you run out of room.
Damn it.
Adam, what's your
This
answer?
one's dead too.
I get. All right.
I'll say Devils. I'm
Steve has
really-
it correct. Adam, you are
I said
incorrect.
Avs.
Oh, no way. That was a shot.
What was
in
the Ray
dark.
Bork year? Damn it. I guess it's the next one.
So it's 13.
So I had Devils crossed out.
Oh, there. Now it works.
It's
Stupid thing.
13-12 for Steve Dangle.
Okay.
2001. Adam, who
Got
you got?
mine?
Avs.
Avs, correct.
Okay.
Mad.
2002. Steve's got it correct. Adam.
Wings.
Wings. 2003.
Oh, no, I'm foggy.
I am too.
I,
I know.
I'm really. Oh! Okay. I know.
2003.
Yeah.
Hurricanes.
No,
No.
2003 was the New Jersey Devils.
Again. Damn
That
it.
makes
was
it
the-
16-14 for Steve.
That was Jaguar. That was the
Oh, the
Yes.
Ducks
Devil's
run.
Duck.
That was the Ducks
Babcock
run.
the original
That's
Babcock
right.
run.
That's
All
right.
right, 2004.
Yeah, I think I got
Yes.
this one.
Tampa.
Hurricanes.
Oh no, Adam, you are incorrect.
Fuck, when did the Hurricanes win? Didn't they win?
They're coming up.
I'll tell you.
Fucking Hurricanes.
All right, that's 17 to
Right, I should've
14
known
for
that.
Steve.
This is where it gets foggy for me.
Yeah.
From like 05 to about 09, it was really bad.
05, there's no winner. There's a logout.
Right.
06,
It's the fucking Hurricanes. I'm gonna be so mad.
it's the Hurricane.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you that point.
That sucks.
18,
Typical Hurricanes. You
I know.
always think it's going to be
Always,
them.
yeah, I know.
18 to 15, 2007.
Oh,
Who you got, Adam?
I got mine. I'm just going to tick it. I know
Devils.
I'm right.
Devils.
Nope.
Fuck it. I don't know. I don't really know.
The Anaheim Ducks.
Anaheim Ducks.
Right.
That was
was
Sens. Spezza.
That Anaheim Ducks championship put the Leafs behind so many years.
2008. It's 20 to 16 for Steve.
Friggin' thing.
2008. Steve's got it correct.
Oh, Wings.
Adam's got it correct. 21-17 for Steven. 2009.
Got mine.
Got it right here. It's the Pens.
Ah, look at that.
Hey.
Crosby's first cup.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
2009. 2010.
Got mine.
Devils.
No.
Shit.
Blackhawks.
I don't fucking know, man.
2011.
Who won? Sorry, 2010?
That was, yeah.
No, Chicago was 2010.
Yeah, you got that correct. Adam got
Okay.
that correct. 2011. We all remember.
I don't know, do we? Maybe
Adam?
we don't.
Kings.
No, that was Boston Bruins.
Hurricanes.
That's a good one.
I don't know. Man.
It was Boston Bruins, 2011,
Oh,
2012.
fuck me. Of course it was.
Yeah, 2012. Steve's got it.
Kings.
Kings. There you
Yep.
go, Adam.
All right, just checking.
Got
Uh,
this.
What am I at? Those Kings, 2012, 2013.
Got mine.
13, Adam.
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks. 2014.
There it is. Should I just start writing?
Steve's got it.
Got it there too.
What does he write?
Kings.
Kings, yes, correct.
Bastards.
And 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Steve's got it.
There we go. So wait,
Let me
what
check.
What year? So now I've lost
So we're
track.
starting at 14. 14, 15.
I'm so fucking brain dead right now.
17.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Give me 18. I just want to see if Steve can do this.
And then,
18. Yeah. Washington.
Did I get them all?
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
what
Steve,
are they?
Steve's going to clean up.
You're winning.
2014, the Kings. 2015, the Blackhawks. 2016, the Penguins. 2017, the Penguins. 2018, the Capitals. 2019, the St. Louis Blues.
There you go.
I did, man, those early 2000s, because it was like three teams.
I could tell you this most of the 60s, all of the 70s, all of the 80s.
I couldn't tell you
and
any
most
of
of
that
the
shit.
90s, but I can't tell you. I could not tell you. Like I struggled from 05 to about 2013 because the Leafs were so fucking bad that I stopped paying attention.
I don't know any of the 70s, except I believe 79 was the Habs, because that's like regarded as one of the best
well,
teams
and that
ever.
was like the end of 5 years. The great thing about the 70s is 5 of them
You
were
could
in
just
Montreal.
guess Montreal.
Yeah,
and,
and
be
then
right.
two of them are Boston and 2 of them are Philly.
I believe you. Sure. Oh yeah, Philly 74
74.
or 75.
Yeah.
Or one of them.
Wait, are they 1 or 2? Anyway, whatever.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I think it's 2. Hey, I feel good about
Go
myself.
victory.
Hooray.
Steven Dangle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Flawless victory, Steven. Well done.
We'll call that the start of the regular season. Steve's up 1-0.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, preseason doesn't matter.
Yep.
Here it is. All right. Cool. Good show.
Good show, guys. Fun times. All right, so we'll be back Sunday. Bigger show. Believe we're going to book one of our marquee guests for that, but I'm not going to say who because we haven't fully done it yet, but hoping. Very excited about having him on. And listen, we're super excited about this season. Thanks so much for listening. This is the season. We are like 2 episodes in now to season 7. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for listening. And obviously, thank you so much for checking out our new camera angles, which we will figure out. We got a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't know about that particular angle. Just give us a freaking minute,
give us
okay?
a
We
sec.
just
Give
got
us-
the
give
equipment.
us a sec.
Half an episode, you know?
Give us a sec. Well, but
Jeez.
I am so impressed by Jesse's ability to like carry on a conversation and like do his wizardry. over there.
It's not the best of abilities, but it works.
Jesse actually knows how to do some crazy stuff on there. There's like polls and like what else can you do on that?
I
thing?
tried the scoreboard for anybody watching. They saw the scoreboard come up when you guys were playing.
That's so great.
I got to 27 to 19, then I gave up.
Yeah, I was
So I was
like,
like, we don't need to keep scoring.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, yeah.
And can you like what do they call it when they put your name across the bottom of the screen?
A key.
Yeah,
right?
when they can
Yeah,
you key
I
people?
can key you right now. I'm gonna write something.
Key me.
Steve
Do you want me to
Dangle.
key you?
Yeah,
All
All right,
what are you
hold
gonna
on.
key
We're
me
gonna.
as?
It's on Adam Cam right now. So we're gonna.
Oh, is that
try
my
and-
cam?
Can I type it?
I might not be in my cam most of the
No,
shot.
you're in your cam.
Oh,
don't
no.
worry.
Am I even over here?
So we're gonna write Adam.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to write, Steve?
Idiot.
Loser.
Okay. Don't make sure he doesn't know. What do you want to write?
Potato idiot.
Shout out the Corsi Hockey League, by the way.
Adam
It's my
Wild.
fantasy league.
Potato idiot. Adam can't hear me.
No, he can't.
Talking.
He can't hear you.
He
So I'm
can't.
gonna write Adam Wild, potato idiot. Program to preview.
And
There
now
you
it's
go.
there.
Now it's on the screen.
I love
Yeah,
the
Adam.
future.
That's crazy.
Big potato idiot.
Adam, it says you're potato idiot in your camera.
Potato idiot.
Look at that
Look,
stupid.
smile. There you go.
By the way, I just want to read one quick comment from Daniel Nugent Bowman from the Athletic Edmonton.
Yes.
Some lunchtime reading. I spent time with Oilers GM Ken Holland this summer as he packed and planned. His message for McDavid as the Oilers rebuild. You look at Ovechkin. He was number 1 overall. It was 13 years in the league before he won the cup.
What?
And Andrew Berkshire retweeted it and said, if I'm McDavid and the GM says this, I'm asking for a trade immediately.
The Capitals were amazing for like 10 years before they won
Yeah,
the
the
cup.
Capitals could have won the cup 5 different times.
How many President's trophies
Yeah.
do they got? What the hell
And
is
somebody,
that?
and somebody said to Andrew, you could never be McDavid, so you don't have to worry about this. And Andrew said, damn, I never realized that at 32 I could not be the best hockey player in the world. Really disappointed.
Oh.
Good luck, Connor.
Oh, God.
Woo! 13 years. What is that for Oilers fans? They got 5 to 7 years left.
We'll save you 97, bud.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness. Connection complete.